let's do this. So we're talking about business ownership. We're talking about how to go from being a self-employee. When you join real estate, you're a self-employee as an independent contractor. At the end of the year, you're going to get a 1099. You need to pay your own taxes. You're going to be responsible of paying all your taxes. And you really need to understand what it means to be a business owner. As a business owner, you need to basically own your systems. You need to build systems, develop them, and then you also need to build some tools, and you need to have people in your team in the future operating those systems. So if I'm building a lead generation system, for example, every 2 weeks, I have certain postcards that are going out there. I have a website that does all that stuff for me. That's a system. And I put it in place. Now, someone needs to work in the system. For example, if I need to send out a postcard that I just listed a house, and I want to send it to the database, and I want to send it to, next to the listing, there is a system that I can use to go there, design a postcard, and then purchase a mailing list. If I have one already, great. And then I send it out. But these are steps that need to take place. Now, if I am an agent who does everything, then I'm going to do A to Z. But as you start progressing through this process of building a business, you will need to start, first of all, you're going to build it, you're going to do it, you're going to continuously be the one, and then slowly start hiring other people to do certain things for you. For example, mailings. My assistant was always doing all my mailings. I did not do that because it takes too long. Deciding what to write on the postcard and designing the postcard and uploading the postcard, and then looking at which mailing list, because maybe I took a listing as a for sale by owner outside of my farm and I don't have the database. I got to go purchase the database, research the database, mail it out, and then start following up, and then having these phone numbers in the system, import all these into my system. Guys, that's by itself a full-time job. So you will come across a lot of, situations when you got to systemize stuff, you got to, put some tools in place, and then in the future have some people operating the systems. Building systems and tools obviously is going to take you time. It takes dedication because it takes time to build it. And then, knowledge and money. You need to invest some money in it. And at the end, the third level is hiring the right people, which takes forever. Trust me, I've been in the business for many, many years. And I tell you, hiring the right people, it could be a nightmare. And that's why most people never become business owners. They're just a self-employee working for themselves, and they're never taking real estate to the next level. Also, a lot of people with teams who call themselves a team leader, where say they buy some leads and they give those leads to some agents, and then they get a commission split from these agents. That's not really a team. There's no systems in place. There are no tools. And those that are building systems and tools and giving those to the agents and providing them with administrative support, etc., are normally team leaders that operate their business as a business. They're not operating as a single person doing everything. So when you start building this business, before you begin, it's best for you to understand all that information. I will coach you. If you stay in Circle 100 and you've been with us and you're in the coaching, I will consult and train and coach you through this process of how to go to each level. And I can also help you build the systems and tools, give you some consultation and explain to you how it's done, which systems you need to build, etc., etc. But again, the majority of people are never going to do that. That's just the fact. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be one of them. Hopefully you will. But most people are not treating it as a business, and they just have a job. They do 5, 10, 15 deals a year, which brings them anywhere from, we'll say 30,000 to maybe 80,000, $100,000 a year, which is the majority of agents where they are, between 20,000 a year and 80,000 a year. That's the majority of people. And then you have those that are more successful, that have no life because they're too busy. They're doing 25, 30, 40 deals by themselves. Maybe they have a little bit of administrative support from their company. When I'm saying a little bit, I'm talking about a really nothing substantial. And they really never go out there to hire anybody to help them. And they're stuck at that level. And trust me, they have no life. When you close 3-4 deals a month, running between inspections, having 3-4 listings every month, managing your listings, showing to buyers, doing open houses, market. Guys, it's a full-time, 7 days a week, all day working. And by the time you take vacation, there's a chaos in your business. So I'm not talking about that, because that to me is failing. If someone, makes money in real estate, but they have no life, that's failing. I don't think they're successful. Being successful meaning that you're building something, and at the same time, you take more and more control over your life, not less and less control, but more and more control. And many of these people have, when you reach that level by yourself, doing 25, 30 deals a year, your ego naturally is also growing. As your business is growing, your ego is growing. And that's why a lot of producers in our business are egomaniacs. They think that they know it all. They don't need help. They don't need coaching. They don't need mentorship. They don't need consultation. They don't need anything. They made this money by themselves, but they don't recognize that they have no life. And they don't recognize that they're super tired and they're going to burn out. Everybody burns out in our business. I never saw anyone who's not burning out unless they're building the business the right way, which means build a business, not working in a job. The more deals you do, the more you start progressing in doing deals, the less time freedom you have. So the majority of agents who join our industry join the business because they want to have time freedom. Unfortunately, it's not the case, because the more you get involved, the less time you have on your hands. All right, so to become a top producer, which is step number one, is get your license. Step number two, focus on becoming a top producer. You need to understand it takes time. It's not going to happen in 3 months. Normally, it takes about, it really depends on how aggressive you go and how much time you invest in what we teach, in prospecting, in generating leads and converting them. But it's going to take anywhere between 12 to 18 months before it's starting to get to a momentum stage. So it takes about 12 to 18 months to start building this momentum where you can replace your income with whatever it is that you did before. You're not going to replace your income in the first 3 months unless you are a superstar. And I can tell you, just based on looking at what happened in any industry, especially what happens here locally, they were maybe three to five agents in the last 5 years. Listen to this, 3 to 5 agents out of 5,000 agents that within 3 to 6 months actually generated a bunch of business. 3 agents out of 5,000. So it's probably not you. So let's look at the majority of what needs to happen. You must be willing to understand that it takes time. You need to be willing to invest the time needed. Again, 12 to 18 months. Be prepared financially to sustain yourself in the business, which means you're not going to be making money for 12 to 18 months. Then you should, consider that from the get-go and know it. Put some money aside. And if you don't have money coming in and you're joining real estate, you will very, very quickly find yourself in a very negative situation. That's why I don't recommend anyone to quit their job and go real estate full time before you really get to a momentum stage. And that takes time. Now, if you have a part-time job, there is another problem. If you have a full-time job and real estate is part-time, here's the biggest challenge. You don't have enough time to invest in your business and to start building this business. And therefore, you're not doing enough to do that. And very quickly you run out of the hype, the energy, the excitement that you had when you first joined the business. Someone comes in, super excited, I'm going to get my real estate license, I'm going to make a bunch of money, all this excitement, they go into the business, and then they need to invest money in studying. Like, I give you one example. We have a bunch of people that should be right now on the call, and they're not. And why they're not on the call? Because they just don't put the time necessary. So it already tells you that the majority of people are not going to make it. And the problem is you get a full-time job, and then the only days you can do real estate is when you get home, which is about 5:30, 6 p.m. every day. And people normally at 6 p.m. are already tired. They already need to deal with, children, dinner, this, that, and the other. So they are not doing anything during the week for real estate. And then on the weekends, when it's Saturday and Sunday, if they're not like on a real strict system where they try to generate leads during these 2 days and they're not doing the right stuff, they will never be able to start. And then what happens is they think, well, my job is holding me back from being successful in real estate. Let me quit my job. Then they quit their job at the wrong time before they, start doing any deals. And then, within three months, they recognize, well, I'm not making any money in real estate. Let me go back and get a job. So the circle that I just introduced to you is something that happens all across the board to more than 70% of all people who get their licenses. Now, if you want to avoid that, it's good that you're here, you know, and listening to these trainings. Show up here every Sunday, and I promise you that you're not going to be one of those people. But the first thing you got to understand is you're coming in from having a job. Maybe you have a part-time job. Maybe you have two part-time jobs, and now real estate is the third income opportunity you have. I don't know your situation, but you got to think about it as, if I want to do this like really quickly and I need to make money quickly, then you really, really, really need to be tight to the system that we teach you, because that system is guaranteed to bring you success. And the path is actually going from a new agent to a producing agent to a top producer. So joining the industry, doing 10 to 20, you know, between, let's say you call it, you know, 8 to 20 deals a year, that's a producer. And then 20 plus is top producer, depending on which market you're in, but in most markets, 25, 30 and up is considered top producing. So becoming a student of the industry, what is that? Well, you need to invest time. It's going to take you 12 to 18 months to get your feet wet, understand the language, understand what it takes to generate a lead, understand what it takes to follow up on the lead and convert it into a listing or into a buyer exclusive, and then take that all the way to a sold property to pick up a check at the closing. So it takes time. But the first thing that it takes is a commitment. A commitment to do what? A commitment to, number one, study, rehearse, be coachable, show up at the training, show up at the coaching, do your homework. That's the most important thing. And then slowly, as you progress through doing your homework, you know, starting getting in action, doing certain activities over and over again, learning the scripts, understanding the language, and doing all that stuff, you're moving towards start to produce and become a producer. All right. So it takes time. You need to understand that it takes time. Now, successful top producer makes 6 to 7 figures annually. I also know people that make 8 figures. And there's really no other profession out there. I don't think you can go and point to me a profession that you can, you know, achieve, get licensed within 30 days like you can in real estate, and then be able to make 6, 7, 8 figures a year. Which industry is available to do that other than real estate? I don't know any. So how much time and money will you need to invest, you know, in order to go to college? This is just an example giving you, like, if you go to college, 4 years in college, I mean, the minimum is like 60,000 all the way to, you know, 200,000-300,000 in expense before you even get a, you know, a degree. And then you have to put in your resume out there and hope that you get an entry-level job, which is not going to pay you 6 figures. So real estate can give you 6 figures. Guys, you can make 6 figures year one, like your first year, but that means that you're doing it full time. It means that you're actually doing homework, that you really study, that you really role play, and you study the scripts and dialogues, and you follow the system verbatim, and you're doing it over and over and over again. You're spending most of your time, 80% of your time at the beginning, need to be spent on generating leads. And then slowly, you start building systems. So the first system you got to build as a business is administration. Anything that has to do with paperwork, following up on the deals, filing, you know, keeping your database in place, everything that that you think about in real estate. About 85% of what we do as agents is administration. So at Circle100, we're providing you with some administration to remove some of the time that you need to invest in the business. And when you remove that time and you start investing it in generating leads, instead of administration, generating leads, because if I'm telling you at the beginning, you need to generate leads 80% of your time, and 85% of what you need to do as an agent is administration, you see the conflict. This conflict creates failure all across the board. Failure all across the board. And people fail. Why they fail? Because they keep moving between, I'm an administrator and I'm generating leads. Generating leads, I need to convert my leads. So there's so many things you need to do. At the beginning, we do them by ourselves. Circle100 is actually providing with a transaction coordinator who can save you on, from the moment you get a contract until you go to closing, all that process it's going to probably take about 80% of your time. And you need to avoid doing that. Therefore, we're providing you a transaction coordinator who can do that for you so that you can continue generating leads. The 80% of your time, 85% of your time at the beginning of your career should be focused solely on generating leads. So you will need to build some systems. If you want to own this as a business, administration is very important. In addition to transaction coordination, now we're also offering other administration different tools and systems that we're building in order for you to be able to use those, so you don't need to purchase them or create them by yourself or hire someone else to do it for you. We'll provide them as a company, give you this opportunity. After you building up an administration, you need to build your lead generation and lead conversion. Lead generation is, again, 85% of your time should be focused on lead generation at the beginning stages of your career all the way through intermediate. So even when you do 25, 30, 40 deals, 50 deals a year, you're still going to be the main lead generator. And the lead conversion, as you start progressing, like the first 30 deals, you're going to do all by yourself. And then you're going to start referring some of the buyers' leads that you're generating and give them to someone else and get or get a referral fee for that, or get a piece of the commission, depending on how you're going to move along with this thing. If you're going to move along as a single agent, or you're going to move along as a team, that depends on the route and the path you wish to take in the business. We can teach you either one. The next thing you got to build is marketing and branding. Marketing and branding is part of lead generation, but it's standalone by itself. That alone, it could be and should be a full-time job when you are doing at least 40, 50 closings a year. That becomes an employee by itself. You will hire someone to do this for you full-time. Customer service is something that you need to do by yourself as an agent at the beginning. Later on in the game, your administrative assistant or your personal assistant is going to be the one doing customer service. And then money management is all on you, all the way through the end stages of owning a business, which we spoke about in session 1. So understanding the expenses, just some of them, I'm going to run them quickly by you. CRM, obviously, database management. Should you have one? Well, at the beginning stages, I would not invest money in it, because you should invest money in other things at the beginning. So I don't think that you really need to invest money in it. At Circle100, we're giving you a CRM, which is part of RBO. And you can insert all your prospects into RBO and manage them from there. But what I do suggest to everyone to do at this beginning stages, since prospecting is one of the best ways to get business now and quickly, calling for sale by owners, expired listings for rent by owners, just listed, just sold, door knocking, all that stuff can happen and it can give you business very quickly. And one of the best companies to register for is the Redex. The Redex can give you leads, and they give you these leads for a fairly good price with a system built in. So there is a CRM already built in for you to follow up and do all that stuff. That's one way. Look, I built my business for years. I still have most of my business run with simple Excel sheets. I'm just using Excel sheets on Google. So, and that's built into the system we're giving you if you decide to go with the Circle100 email address. It's built into the G Suite. So anyway, long story short, just a simple spreadsheet: name, email address, phone number, home address, and then you need to write down they own or rent. Then next to that, you can open up another column saying, first contact, second contact, third contact, fourth contact. And in each one of those, you can fill out every single time you're making a contact, etc., etc. You can do all of that stuff on a simple Excel sheet. Building that is building your own CRM. And then, by the way, in the future, when you make more money and you wish to invest some money in a good CRM, you can do that. You just download your Excel sheet that you've been building into a CSV file and upload into the CRM. And then there you go. In 2 seconds, you have all your database with all the notes, with everything you did in there, right on your CRM. So yeah, CRM, you need to, if you're asking me, should you have one? Yes, but not now. At the beginning stages, you really don't need the CRM. But you do need an Excel sheet. You need to keep track. You need a database for sure. You can't work without a database. And also the database, by the way, is going to be value that you sell in the future. That is the business. The business you're building right now, real estate is all about relationships. How many relationships can you build and sustain? And how many of those relationships can you turn into business? And the bigger your database is, the more business you can do in potential and in actuality. So the database, for example, if I'm going into an area that I don't know anybody. So I'm going to start, say I just moved. I just moved from California to Rhode Island, all right? And I need to start building my business. What am I going to do? Well, I can't really do much. I don't know anybody in Rhode Island. So what I do is I'm going to start calling for sell by owners. I'm going to start calling expired listings. I'm going to start going door knocking. I will go to networking event. I will start getting active in the field in order to get to know people. If you grew up in Rhode Island or in Massachusetts, if you know people locally because you grew up there, you went to, you went to school, you got your first job in the state, you have all your friends, all your family lives in, then you have your own database that you should start from. That database is going to be super valuable when you're making money with it. You can then sell it. And when you're selling it to another producer, a competitor, trust me, you can make a lot of money with it. And we'll talk about that in later videos. So anyways, let's go back into what should you really, invest your money in right now. What you should invest your money in right now is education, training classes, designation classes from NAR, any coaching seminars, videos, audios, books, magazines, all that stuff. I highly, highly recommend you to go after success stories and read, figure out what it takes to be successful, understand the discipline that it takes, understand all the basic foundations of success in general, and immerse yourself in it. At Circle 100, we train you. As you can see, I am super devoted to your success. I'm here now on Sundays as well, Tuesdays mornings, and then we also train you as an ambassador on Fridays. So, and then we do one-on-one coaching. There is nothing else that you need. So at the beginning, you don't need to go now and hire a coach. If you're going to go to Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, any one of those coaches out there, you're going to spend anywhere from minimum. If you go for like a group coaching, I'm not just saying one-on-one, group coaching, you're going to spend about $350, $400, $500 a month. One-on-one coaching will start at a minimum, I would say minimum $500 a month, going all the way to $2,000, $3,000 a month, depending on which coach, which coaching system, etc., etc. We give you all of that stuff for free here at Circle 100. You're getting weekly training, you're getting weekly group coaching, and you're getting one-on-one coaching, all for free, all inclusive in the program. All right, and then membership, obviously that's an investment. So when people join our business, some of them, I don't have money for the local board. I don't have money for my license. I can't pay for MLS. Don't join, you're not ready. You need to have a little bit of money when you join a business. When you start real estate, you need to understand you need some money. You got to pay for school. And then when you do your first deal, we reimburse you for school. But you're going to pay for the local board of realtors that you have to belong to. And it's actually dumb not to belong to. I know some brokerages that don't belong to the board of realtors, which is so stupid. You have no idea. I can do a whole session just on that. License renewal, you have to pay for your license. That's going to cost you money. MLS fees, you have to belong to an MLS. In order to use the multiple listing services, you have to have your own user ID and password. And that's going to cost you money. And then, listing fees, etc., etc. So buying leads online, you want to buy some leads on Zillow if you wish. There's money at the beginning that you need to spend. And the most money that should be spent, in my opinion, is generating leads. Okay. And you want to try to generate sellers leads. So we'll talk about all that stuff. Just understand something, you can build this as a job and treat it as a job, and you'll be just like 95% of all the realtors out there. And you can make a lot of money with it, okay? If you be smart and you want to have a lifestyle, then you're going to go to build a team. And after you build a team, you're going to build yourself to what we call 7 levels. You're going to go all the way to actually remove yourself from the team, hiring someone else to replace you. And at that time, you really own a business. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place to be, where the business is growing, you're making money, money is coming into your bank account every single month without you doing anything at all. Like you worked on your business. You can do this for let's say you do this for 8 years. 8 years right now, working hard, building a team. At the end of 8 years, you can retire still owning the team, but retire. You don't need to do anything else because you replace yourself with someone and then you're still making money without working. That's the most beautiful thing about real estate. There is not a lot of businesses out there and not a lot of opportunities out there that can offer you, to a path to go from being a self-employee to business owner and then eventually step out of your business, have someone else manage it for you, and then you just make money, residual money coming in. And of course, we also, with the ambassador bonus, gave you the opportunity for residuals from day one. You don't even need to build, you don't even need to do, a lot of deals in order to start earning residuals. That's what the ambassador opportunity is all about, for you to be able to go out there and choose the right people to bring into our industry. And then we mentor them, we train them, we coach them, we bring them through all the systems we offer. They become successful, they start making money, and you're making residuals every single time they pay the company. 50% of that money goes into your ambassadorship network. That's what residual is all about. So we gave you the opportunity all across the board to build a business, training, coaching, mentorship, administrative support, transaction coordination, and ambassador opportunity, which means you can just enroll people into Circle if they're licensed or not, send them to school, let them go get their license, come back on board. And then once they come on board and they start making money, you're making money. It's residuals coming into every single year. So it's a beautiful, system, beautiful process. Now that's a system. Look at me, what I'm doing right now. I'm working inside my business. I'm not at the stage, I'm not at the level of stepping away from the business. I'm far from this level right now. But I see myself there in 10 years. In 10 years, I will probably step away and I will have someone else replacing me running the business. And then I'll just make money. And I invite you guys to do the same. And I'm doing it with the ambassador opportunity. That's how I'm doing it. I'm focusing on this right now to build a network of agents that know what they're doing. We're giving the highest commission split with the lowest cap on the market. So there's no reason for them to go anywhere else for the commission. We're giving outstanding training, coaching, and mentorship with administrative support so they don't go anywhere else. And then most people who will come on board that would listen, allow themselves to be mentored, allow themselves to be coached and trained, and stay in the system and do as we teach, they will become successful. And that success, obviously, is going to make them money. Hopefully, they will have a good lifestyle, doing 15, 20, 30 deals a year, making anywhere between $80,000 and $250,000 a year in their pocket, and which is beautiful. And then at that level, if they wish to go to the next level, we take them there. So the company is offering you A to Z. But you need to understand from the beginning, there's a lot of stuff that you're not even thinking about right now. For example, advertising expenses, personal website. You need your own website. You can create your own blog on the website. You will need eventually to put some money into social media if you know how to do it, or you need to hire someone else that knows how to do it for you. Truly, you go to Trulia Zillow, you want to buy leads, Realtor.com, postcards, newsletters, business cards, flyers, mailing postage, all that stuff is going to cost you money. And that's money that needs to come back into the business. Also, you need to spend money on operating systems, office fees, desk fees, phone, fuel, car expenses, insurance, etc., etc. There's a lot of expenses that we have running the business. The beautiful thing about this, when you join real estate, all of those things become tax deductible. If you have a home office, part of your mortgage or rent can go towards that. You need to talk more about this with your accountant, exactly what you can include, as a tax deductible expense. But you will have a lot of tax deductions when you become a producing real estate agent. If you're not making any money, then it's a problem. Our job is to help you make money. Your job is to get in action and do what we teach, and start taking those steps towards that. So just to summarize what we spoke about today, and what I really felt to tell you, that I still did not tell you, is the following. Every time you get paid, you have to take a certain amount of the money and invest it back in the business. Let me explain to you how it's done. So you're getting paid, let's say $10,000 commission is coming in from a deal, all right? The first thing you want to do is you want to take 30% of that and you want to put that in a bank account, not in your personal account, but in a separate bank account for taxes. You take 30% of the income that every check you get, you take 30% and you move that money into your tax bank account. That's going to be the account that you're going to pay your taxes out of. That's not your money. Don't touch it. Don't spend it. So you got 30% right there. At the beginning stages of your career, you need to invest about 30% of every check you're making back into your business for lead generation. We're talking about postcards. We're talking about paying, for example, the RedX to purchase leads, for sell by owners leads, expired leads, for rent by owners lead, just listed, just sold, all of those, geo leads. You got to purchase them every month. You got to, so these are all the stuff that I showed you today. 30% of your money needs to go and cover all that stuff. 10% of the money that you're making, you should teed back, give 10% back to charity of choice. And trust me, if you give charity, you're going to make money. If you're not going to give charity 10%, at least 10%, it's actually between 10 and 20. But if you're not going to give that and you're just going to keep it in your pocket, trust me, you're not going to be making money. I don't know almost anyone that makes money and have a lifestyle that is not giving at least 10% of their income. So that should be a rule of thumb. And then you're going to be left with between 30 and 40% of your income of money that belongs to you, that you need to actually, do what needs to be done with it. Pay your bills, pay your credit cards, et cetera, et cetera. So when you start thinking about, okay, I want to make $100,000 this year. Based on the math I just gave you, 30% goes to tax, 30% goes back in your business, 10% goes to charity, which leaves you with about $30,000, $35,000 in your pocket. But you're like, dude, I just made $100,000. Why am I only, using $35,000? Because the other money is not yours. The other money has to go back into your business if you wish to grow your business. If you did 10 deals this year and you took all the money from the 10 deals and you ate it, it's gone. And by the end of the year, you need to pay taxes. Obviously, 10 deals, say you made, I don't know, $65,000, $75,000 that year. After expenses, deductions, etc., you still need to pay taxes, I don't know, 10, 15 grand, and maybe more. So where are you going to pay that money out of? If you wasted all the money, you spent all the money, how are you going to pay your tax? That is one of the biggest problems people have as real estate agents. Guys, listen to me. Do this business the right way. And doing it the right way, meaning that you are building it as a business. You're not just acting as an employee. Oh, I got 10 grand, let me blow it. I got 7 grand, let me blow it. I got 6 grand, let me do this, let me do that, let me buy a new car, let me go on vacation, At the end of the year, you're gonna have no money to pay taxes. At the end of the year, you're gonna have no money to reinvest in your business, so you're never capable of growing your lead generation. Let me give you an example. If at the beginning stage of your career, you're getting your first deal, say you just closed the deal, you're in mentorship, so you're getting, in mentorship, you're getting 50-50. So let's say the commission was 8,000, you took 4,000. You got $4,000 right now. You take the 4,000, 1,200 you put in a bank account for taxes. Another 1,200, listen to this, another 1,200, 30%, you can invest back in your business. That's postcards. That can give you about 750 cards every 2 weeks to start investing back in your business. You can actually send out about 1,500 postcards. When you're sending out 1,500 postcards, you're going to get something back. You can also use some of the 1,200 to sign up for RedX. You can pay RedX for the whole year with that money. You pay RedX for the whole year. Now you have, for the whole year, you have leads coming to your email every single morning. You logging into the RedX CRM, and you have all these new leads. You contact them, you call them, and you try to get appointments. So 30% goes to tax, 30% goes back in your business. What are you doing with the 30%? The next check you're getting, say you just made another commission and you put in your pocket 5,000 this time. Okay, now you take 1,500, you put in a bank account for tax, and now you have $1,500 that you need to invest back in your business. What should you do with this money? If you already paid RedX for the whole year, now you should start investing in postcards. Okay, and that's how it goes. The next check coming in, you take another piece of it and you invest back in your business, and another piece of the next deal and you invest it in your business, another piece you invest in. As you start doing that, During the 12 to 18 months that I told you about, that it takes to build your business, 12 to 18 months, during this time, as you progress through what I'm talking about now, your business will start generating leads by itself. Why by itself? Because every single deal you do, you put some money towards that. And it's giving you more leads. And we teach you, we go through the mentorship, training, and coaching to develop your language. So now you know much better how to take a lead, from a name, phone number, email address. Now you're turning that into a listing appointment. And now you know how to turn the listing appointment into a listing signed. And then you need to know, you also learn how to put that listing on the market and get it sold in the first 10 days. And then after 45 days, you get a check from that closing. And during that time, you did it 3 more times with other listings. That's how you start building this business. And as you go through all this momentum, growing your business, hopefully you stick to the coaching. You're not going to get lost in all this drama and in all this momentum, because a lot of people, and remember, a lot of people have breakdowns and they build bad habits. For example, you start getting momentum. You start getting momentum going up, getting leads, creating more leads generation. And then you stop doing what caused you in the first place to get those leads, and you start getting bad behaviors. You stop to prospect. You're not really investing money back in your business. And then every 3 months you go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's 80% of our industry is full of people that do up, down, up, down, up, down. And they never do more than 6, 8, 10, 12 deals a year, max 12 deals a year. And then you have people who actually, with the guidance, walk step by step, and they go from 5 deals to 12 deals to 17 deals to 27 deals to 37 deals to 52 deals to 67 deals to 90 plus deals. And that's about 5 to 10% of the real estate agents who will do more than 30 deals a year. And those who do more than 50 deals a year, we're probably talking about roughly 8 to 10% of agents. Who are these people? These are people that treat their business like a business. They don't treat it like a job. At the early stages, they hire a coach. At the early stages, they invest a lot of time in reading the right books and practicing role playing and investing money back in their business and putting money on the side and build it like a business, treating it like a business, investing time in building tools, systems, all that stuff. And once it's done, they hire someone part-time to work on it, and then they make more money so they can afford to hire these people full-time, et cetera, et cetera. That's how it's built. It's a business. So let's close this, open up the mic for some questions about this session. And if you don't have any, then I will see you on Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. for coaching, and then ambassadors on Friday. Yes, John, any questions?
Oh, thank you. That was good. Good encapsulation of what you try to do, help support agents who come on. So that makes a big, yeah, you got to treat it like a business.
Right.
We know that because and most people don't. And that's what I have to get back to. And I have to try to figure out if there's mentoring involved and trying to do my own business of buying and selling, and how all of this kind of comes together.
Right, and when you work with mentees, you also need to understand our system and know how to guide them through. Just make sure, right. For example, if you have 2, 3 mentees, they should be here on Sundays. Like there should be no chance of them not being here on Sunday, because they're not really working on Sunday. And if they work 7 days a week and they come into our business, I tell you right from the get-go, I'm not taking them on, because they will not be able to build a business. It's just going to be a complete waste of their time.
Right.
If they don't have time to be here, to study, to understand the steps and what it takes to build a business, then obviously they're never going to get to it. And if they do decide one day to quit their job and to jump full-time on real estate, they're taking a big risk unless they have a lot of money on the side. And having money on the side is not enough, because they got to get in action. Otherwise, the money on the side is going to run out.
Right.
So, this I always try to, you know, when I speak with new people that are brand new, you know, I try to warn them of what could cause them to fail and what is causing more than 70% of the people who actually get their license to never do anything with it. And we can avoid that by doing that. So as a mentor, you really just need to know the system and make sure to hold them accountable to, number one, be in all the training and coaching events and meetings, and then do the homework, and then you got to wait for them to get in action. As a mentor, you're not going to take action for them. You're just waiting for them to take action. And once they do, for example, if they made some phone calls and they say, hey, John, I have a meeting with a buyer, then you can actually help them. Your job is to mentor them through deals, the first 4 deals. You are the mentor for the first 4 deals. So what does that mean? It means that you need to be there in order to make sure that they have all the necessary tools and all the necessary knowledge going through the deal. You're not a trainer. You don't need to train them like I'm doing. That's my job. You just need to, when they have something, then you step in and you help them.
Right.
They have a listing appointment.
Who's the other mentor? Who's the other mentors that you work with?
Right now we have Carlos Almeida, who's the broker of record who does mentorship, and we have Joyce Daly, and we have Selena, who is mentoring one person. But Joyce basically does the majority of the mentorship right now. And Yamanda, you're here, right? So Yamanda, you've been, you know, mentored by Joyce for the first. You already closed 2 deals. Yamanda has been in the business now for 2 months. She closed already 2 deals. I think she has some more in the pipe.
Yes. Yeah, Joy's my mentor.
Right. So as far as you know, her being your mentor, what she did with you so far?
Well, I took it serious, and I contact her for every little thing because I'm just joined the business. I didn't know basically anything about it. So I literally contact her for every single thing. And she's always very open and responsive and helping me through the whole thing.
All right, great. So that's really what it's all about. She also mentors other people who never took action, so there's nothing to mentor. If they don't take action, there's nothing to mentor.
Right.
Elvis, you've been mentored by Carlos. Your experience with that?
Well, my experience with Carlos has been very similar. You know, whenever I come across a situation in a deal that I'm building that I'm not comfortable with, or I just need a more strategic way to go about something, I contact Carlos. He's usually, you know, very responsive, usually available with his short order, and he absolutely goes into detail and gives me solid advice from his experience, and it really has been helpful.
Right, so it's more hands-on. You get in action, you have a deal, you need something. For example, hey, I'm meeting a buyer tomorrow. Can you help me with the appointment? I'm meeting a seller. Can you help me with the MLS, getting CMAs, you know, all that stuff. Someone need to be there walking them through the first, you know, steps throughout the deal. And then once they do a deal, if the deal goes under contract, they give the deal to the transaction coordinator, and then the transaction coordinator will push the deal all the way to the end, helping them as well. So part of the mentorship is also utilizing the transaction coordinator. You know, so it's all systemized. The system is built very well, and that's it. Just people need to come in and you know, plug themselves into it. So it's fairly simple. All right, guys, thank you for being here. If you have any questions regarding this session, feel free to ask or send me a text or email. And that's it. I'll see you back here next Sunday.
Thank you.
Excellent topic, Ron. Thank you.
You're welcome.